Hi, this is Roy on my channel Roy Reads Anything, which is about eclectic reading, including the yard-long shelf full of decoration books that I bought to see what it would be like to actually read them. You know, these are books that have been abandoned in terms of being sold individually, so they're sold as job lots for people to just put on their shelves because they want to have a bunch of books. And what I'm going to look at now, I've kind of been dreading this one because it's about sport, and I'm not a sport person. I don't watch sport, I don't play sport. I virtually never have. I've attended one football match, one rugby game, and that's about it. So here in the yard of books is something called John Arlott's Book of Cricketers, which dates from 1979. So John Arlott, who I had heard of, was a famous cricket commentator, and this is a book of, so actually a book club edition of a book of little pen portraits about a whole bunch of cricket players. So, what was I going to do with this? I didn't particularly want to read it, but I've said I'll somehow find a way to honour the books and give them a bit of a second life before whatever happens to them next. I did Actually, I lied a bit about the sport thing. One year, a few years ago, I decided as a kind of mental experiment to decide to like and follow a sport for a year. So I picked a sport which was football, as in NFL, so American football, watched the season, followed a followed a team, all of that, and I enjoyed it at the time. But once it was finished, even though it was kind of an ideal process because the team I picked actually won the Super Bowl, nevertheless it fell away at the end, and me and sport parted company. So yeah, so not a sport person. So what to do with John Arlott's Book of Cricketers? I mean, the extreme solution would be to actually follow cricket rather like I did with football, but I don't think I'd have the time to watch a load of cricket games any more than the England cricket team would have time to watch me reading and studying 19th century literature. It's just not going to happen in either direction. So I read the book. I read the book, and I tell you, the guy John Arlott can really write well. He's got a great turn of phrase. Um, Not enough to lure me into the world of watching sport, but it's good writing, and I can see why he was such a sort of beloved figure in the world of commentating. But one thing jumped out at me, a similarity between this kind of writing and other stuff I have read, such as adventure series of books about a male hero and romance novels. So in these kind of books, men, including their physical bodies, are described again and again and again. So every time a story comes up with a male adventure hero, you hear what they're physically like. So you get their characteristics repeated, and in romance novels, the genre ones I've read anyway, the the guy gets described, a lot. It seems excessively sort of almost over described, so you've really got a sense of what this person is like. So yeah, men and their bodies, you get in this as well. So in a way, it's like sort of classical writing from classical Greece or art like I don't know, Michelangelo's David or something, a sort of ideal male form is being described. So I went through the 20 or so portraits of the cricketers and extracted the bits of description and put them together out of context to make a sort of found poem, which I think is very similar to, like I say, similar to what you might find. You could almost use this as a bank of, if you're a romance writer, oh God, I've got to describe some handsome, attractive male yet again. What words can I use? Well, you could do worse than turning to Mr. John Arlott. So the rest of this video is me reading the words of John Arlott describing men and their bodies. So it's all John Arlott, apart from the title I've given it, which is I Sing the Body of Cricket. The bony structure is firm and neatly chiselled, the forehead high enough to argue keen thought, the nose quizzical, mouth sensitive, its corners curved on the brink of a smile. The main feature, though, is the eyes, set in a nest of sun and laughter wrinkles. Hard, strong but sloping shoulders, a deep chest, fairly long arms, strange attraction. Tall, with high craggy shoulders, the essence of raw bone strength. Some Roman sculptor might have carved it out of rock. Muscular but lithe, but long-armed, lissom as a cat. He had capacious hands, prehensile, yet so sensitive. Exultant in his youth, some thought him bouncy, twisting his little finger almost shyly in his ear. So lean of figure, you cannot imagine a spare ounce of flesh on his bones. Lean, lanky, with a crop of wavy black hair. Powerfully but not heavily built, well balanced and strong-legged, wrists which though slim were steely strong, lithe but adequately wide shoulders. He had an air of laziness, his hip joints rippling like those of a giant cat. Immensely strong legs, slightly dazed, beguiled, a coherent mover, strong enough for his purpose, neatly built, trim, erect, brisk in movement, the steely gaze of his eyes. Once he has drawn it, he never sheathes it until it has drawn blood. Okay, think we all need to cool down now, so I'll bid you farewell till the next video.